in-betweens are drawings that connect the key drawings, to make the animation flow smoothly. Key drawings are the poses of the extremes of an action, and are done first. An assistant animator, or an in-betweener, does the intermediate drawings. The animator analyzes an action, and decides which poses would be used for the keys, and how many in-betweens are needed between each key. This is called the timing of the action. A timing grid, or just grid, is drawn up to indicate the number and positions of each in-between. The timing grid is placed at the bottom right-hand corner of each key drawing. A grid is drawn, with the two keys, indicated at the top and bottom of a vertical line. The in-betweens are added, as shorter horizontal bars. The halfway, or midway position, has a slightly longer bar than the rest of the in-betweens. There are 24 frames per second, for every second, on a standard 35mm movie film. Fortunately, the animator does not need 24 separate drawings for every second of action. Most studios shoot their animation on doubles, or twos. That means, every drawing is shot twice, and only 12 drawings per second are needed. Japanese and Korean studios cut their work even more, by shooting on threes, meaning each drawing is exposed 3 times. A simple walk, like a Flintstones-type walk, has an 8-drawing cycle. A cycle is a loop action, where the last drawing connects up with the first, to create a continuous action. There are 4 key poses for a walk. The 2 stride poses, and 2 mid-stride poses, with 1 in-between between each pose, making it an 8-drawing cycle. To do in-between number 8, to complete the loop, drawing number 1 is used, in place of a 9th drawing, and therefore this walk is sometimes also referred to as a 9-drawing walk cycle. The first key of a walk is the stride pose. This is when the legs are furthest apart. Note, the arms swing in the opposite direction to the legs. When a character is in this pose, his head is slightly lower than in an upright pose. I named this walk as a W series, and marked the first key stride as W1. You can use any letter to identify your work, but all drawings must be numbered as you do them. 2 steps are needed for every walk cycle, so, when the first stride pose is done, you will need to do an opposite stride pose. This is my W5 key. With both drawings on the lightbox, find the midway point between the back of the 2 heels of the W1 stride. Draw the mid-stride, W3, with a heel on this mark. Make sure the leading foot of W1 is the one on the ground, and the previous back foot is now moving up and forward. Take extra care to in-between the correct feet, as it is easy to make a mistake. When this breakdown drawing is done, do a reverse pose, key W7. These are the 4 keys for the walk. With W1 and W3 on the lightbox, do the in-between drawing, halfway between each pose. Flip the pages to make certain the front foot of W1 is sliding backwards, and the back foot has lifted up, and moving forward. Do the same with the arm positions. This is in-between drawing W2. Flip pages 1 and 2, and 2 and 3 to check the action. Now remove drawings 1 and 2, and place drawing 5 on top of drawing 3. In between them, but check the movements of the feet and arms. The foot on the ground is still sliding back, and the raised foot of W3 has the knee bent slightly before it is placed into the next stride. This is W4. You have now completed the keys and in-between for the first stride. Always flip your work to check the action. Any changes or corrections should be made at this stage. Now, use the same procedure to do the next stride, but this time, all the drawings will be opposite poses to the first. I have devised an easy way to identify the opposite poses to do a walk cycle. I call it a cycle clock or wheel. Draw a circle with a vertical then a horizontal line down the center. For an 8-drawing cycle, these are the key drawings, identified as W1, 3, 5 and 7 respectively. Halfway points, between each key, with spokes connecting them, are the in-betweens, and each drawing at one end of the spoke is the exact opposite pose to the one at the other end. You have completed your first 8-drawing walk. This walk will do for most cartoons, but it might be a little too fast for others. For a more natural, 2 steps per second, or 12-drawing walk cycle, a grid, like this, will be needed for each stride, and 5 in-betweens, instead of 3. The drawings between the stride keys and the breakdown key, or mid-in-between, are spaced as third-way positions. Once the breakdown in-between has been done, do number 2, 1/3 of the way. Number 3 is again a halfway position between numbers 2 and 4. Number 5 is a third-way position drawing, but number 6 is again a halfway drawing between 5 and 7. The remaining in-betweens for the second stride are reverse poses of the first stride. This walk cycle is called a walk in place. The character remains centered on the screen, and a background can then be panned behind it. Alternatively, if the walk is done on long cells, a held background is used, and the animation is then panned across the background. If you don't have a sliding peg bar, the drawings can be done, one after the other, in sequence, to walk your character across the screen. The next lesson will be a bit more adventurous. Proceed to advanced walks, runs and 4-legged walks and runs.